Morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? Are we emotionally screwed up, or sleep deprived, or is that a little bit in between? It is the zombie of Weber, Chauncey, in Roseman, California. What's going on, guys? Yeah, my dog's driving me crazy again. Shout out to those guys who've been leaving published comments. Sorry I haven't been getting to them. I should be getting into them more often. Uh, really didn't like dealing with trolls, but freedom of speech has to be. And I say that as I got rid of the guys. Only because when they started complaining about me personally, saying, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Yeah, I got this one right here for you. But the thing of it is, yeah, they can say it, and I can still flip them off and dump their ass. But that's one thing about freedom of speech. At least I can dump their ass and block their ass. But the thing is, we're dealing with the United States government happening. We're dealing with the Doge. Now, there had been comments I've come across in this one particular user. Just come on there just to be a troll. Just wants to be a troll. Sees something he wants to insult, so he's going to insult. And yeah, he's a troublicant. But at some points, troublicants will have or try to manage a valid reason for their opinions. And the thing I still have to challenge these guys on, as much as it irritates me that I like to dump these guys out of here. Do they know what the hell they're talking about? They talk about the Kool-Aid line, but they don't talk about research. And I mean research, guys. You have a point and a valid reason there. I'd like to see it. You're gonna start insulting me and my weight and my lifestyle and hair and stuff. Then you're not worth it. Bye. But if you're gonna challenge me on an issue, then challenge me on an issue. I want to see what you got. I want to see if you actually know how to research. Is there an actual brain behind the fingers there, or are you just a troll? So that's what I do. As for the rest of the guys, I'm sorry I haven't been doing live these days. I've been trying to catch up on sleep. When you're doing 24/7 for a dog who wants attention all the damn time, it's crazy. I'm dealing with an elderly that's mentally disabled partially. I mean, she is getting old. So she has mental and physical issues. And I'm dealing with it the best I can. I'm a caregiver to her. Crazy as it sounds. I did it for adults. I do it for a dog. And here's the question: who's going to take care of me? Me. Crazy as that sounds. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I could be like everybody else, just thumping and screaming and yelling and saying, this is my viewpoint, deal with it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, well, bite me. One of the comments was concerning about what I do customer service at home. No way in hell. I've been there, done that. I've been through the customer service route, both physically in people's faces, and not to mention on the phones. No, thank you. I'm not doing that shit again. One thing to work in a call center from hell, but I don't dare to do that at home myself. So she don't give me that much time anyway to myself in these days. How am I doing? I'm surviving. That's all I'm doing. I'm uncertain because of the management structure happening here at the complexes in Roseman, California. I got Gateway and I got United. Two apartment complexes here. And a couple of weeks back, or a little over 2 weeks back, we had our manager had been here for several years. She dumped. She left. I don't know. It was voluntary. She had to go, or she was forced out. I don't know. But I know most of the staff is out, and there's only one person manning the office. And if there are any maintenance guys, I hadn't seen all that many of them, except one of them that I overheard the conversation. That's why I had posted yesterday, the day before. of what was going on. The neighbors don't even know. We don't even have any paperwork out. There's somebody running the offices right now. Except probably somebody who's collecting the paycheck, and that's about it. If there's any maintenance issues in our complex here, I don't know. Wind Management is the company that's running our operations here. And I don't know if we are still part of them or not. Had I been checking their website a few days ago, I'm getting access into the accounts right now. So if there's going to be anything happening, they should have been contacting us one way or another. Email would have been a better one. Now we've had some contact. They're talking about water issues. Gateway water been shut off again. We had a water emergency here at the Roseman. There had been a boiler issue. We've only got one staffer here. See, I don't get what's happening with our company. I don't get what's happening with the staff. I've got names of people that are supposed to be here, but I don't have pictures to go along with these other people. Either we're getting them or we're not going to get them. We do have a property manager, but she's not the one posting all the information out there for us. So honestly, I don't know who to contact regarding anything. That being said, now if I'm getting information about what's happening these days, I'm going to be submitting the links out there. I'll probably put them through the community post to be a little bit, I think, easier for me to do this. Because at least I'll have the information out there for people to read and understand what the hell's going on. I've been hearing about the VA hospital, the system itself, getting nailed. The VA hospital is a system you just don't want to deal with. You don't want to mess around with them. Because we have a lot of veterans going through the system and exiting the system the last way. They all need to respect. They all need services of whatever they can get, and it is taxpayer funded. It is one of those places. It's one of those agencies you just don't touch with it, much like Social Security and the Medicare and Medicaid system. However, some people have been making jokes about it. Tacky would be the understatement for it. But as soon as the veterans heard about the VA hospital getting gutted, oh, they were pissed, was the polite word for it. The Trump appointed director of it was saying that there was other programs in there and not affecting the veterans directly. And I'm saying to myself, you're an asshole. Because even the support programs that you got are supporting the programs that are helping the veterans. So indirectly, you're affecting them. There was also another remark out there concerning about if we had auditors. Yeah, and Trump got rid of them too. As I understood, there had been auditors in several agencies that tried to keep track of things. And if there was going to be any discrepancies happen, the auditors were supposed to take care of it without the fanfare. Well, we got the auditors taken care of by the Trump administration because they don't want that. They don't want auditing. But they did an audit and they gutted people out of their jobs. Important jobs, too. They think the government is a bloated machine. Well, maybe, but we're dealing with a hell of a lot of population. We're dealing with a lot of land mass here. And we're dealing with the countries beyond us. So, yes, if we need a bloated, overworked, underpaid people in there, yeah, we do. They do it for the love of country. They do it for the love for servicing people. And some of those people are the veterans who actually served and want to continue to serve in their country and not go into the private sector or retire. They want to continue working. So they're working through the government systems, being retrained for other things. But at least they've got a foot into the door other than the civilians who try to get into the damn door. I know I tried a lot of times. And apparently I wasn't qualified one way or another because I'm not a veteran. That's the one thing concerning about being a soldier. If you're good enough, you get to serve. If you got anything concerning about your health, well, screw you. But I understand it. I understand it. Being a guy born of heart condition. Yeah. I was born, had a heart surgery at the age of 4 years old, trying to correct mitral valves. Died on the table 3 times, came back to life 3 times. So yeah, I'm damaged goods when it came in when it came out for looking for soldiers in those days. I didn't qualify anything. Yeah. I wasn't qualifying. There was no way I could have. The doctors would have said no. Actually, the doctors did say no. Both my pediatrician and cardiologist said no. I went through high school, age 18 through 19, getting into graduation years. And yes, during that last senior year, you are approached by the U.S. government. They want you to recruit your ass. Give you the pre-ASFAB, and if you qualify for the damn thing, well, you get to go in. Or take the real ASFAB when you're ready for it. But if you've got any problems concerning about medical, they will check your ass out. And then they'll give you the medical 4F. If any one of the conditions you're bringing in, that they suspect is going to give you problems down the road. And they don't want it because of liability. Trust me. You don't want that happening. I graduated in 85. I was 19 years old. I wanted to join the Air Force. Couldn't join the Air Force. I wanted to join the Navy. Couldn't join the Navy. No way in hell I'm doing the Marines, so I might as well join the Army. Couldn't join the Army. Why? Because of the ticker. Because of the scar they saw on there, and they said, well. Yeah, that's what I thought too. So, couldn't get in. I couldn't meet the physical requirements. I couldn't meet it and beat it. Even if I had the education for it, it still would have to require me being physically fit. Especially for the dream I had of becoming a space shuttle astronaut. Didn't say commander, I said astronaut. And I wanted that so much. but I couldn't do it. Wasn't smart enough, wasn't physically fit enough for it back then. And no, I wasn't a chunky brat back then. I was a bit skinny in those days. I noticed that in the later on when we get adults, when we get into the 50-year range, that we already had type 2, maybe type 1 in our bloodline. Well, things happened you had to deal with anyway. There was a remark I said before. Somebody wanted just to be a pain in the ass, saying, "When do I get a haircut? When do I get a job?" I'm thinking to myself, George Thorogood, really? You're playing that 90s wanker out here? Give me a break. As much as I liked listening to it back in the 90s. Yeah, I had a haircut and I had real jobs back then. These days, I'm 59, pushing 60. What do you want? I already been damn near killed in a job already. Walmart tried to kill me. I had a young pup of a manager drop tires on my face. One got me. In his over exuberance in trying to get a sale in our department, he was willing to bend safety rules left and right and damn near killed me. And a hell of a lot of resentment towards the company and towards the guy, but you know what? They're both not worth it. I still have the psychological trauma. Every time I keep dealing with Walmart.com, I feel it. But the problem is, if I happen to go in front or near Walmart, PTSD kicks in. So, I'm not dealing with that shit. But it also gets worse when I'm dealing with the brick and mortars these days. The brain is getting so scrambled on some things that there are other connections where I feel the threat, one way or another. I could be on the commuter bus we have from Roseman all the way over to Lancaster. All right, let's do it. Boys and girls, shall we take out our map apps? No, they're going to kill me for this one, but I really don't give a flying hoot. Shall we turn, boys and girls, to the Maps app and plugging our settings in here? And when you're on the Google Maps, kindly put into the search engine the town of Rosamond, California. And if that's hard for you to remember, try Edwards Air Force Base. That works. Give you a minute. I understand we're getting a new police station, a substation. We need one. Okay, so if you're over at Edwards Air Force Base, kindly head to the west, which means shove your screen way over to the right until you see the sprawling town and the ugliness of Rosamond, California, the armpit of the Antelope Valley. Of course, you could say the same thing about Palmdale and Lancaster. So that little speck of a town, that sprawling pain in the ass, home is right there. Okay, we are looking for the railroad tracks and then Sierra Highway. So while you're going along the boulevards named Rosamond Boulevard there, you're going to see the slanted line going from north to south, but slanting towards the east a bit. It's along that area that I will take you through. There's a street called Michi Kachi Pichi Kojo. No, that's not it. No, Diamond Street. I need to get my glasses cleaned again. Diamond and Rosamond Boulevard. Originally, this was one of the main streets of the town. They still do their festivals, their holiday lights, their parades for the military. They go through the streets. 20th, and it goes through Diamond, go along Rosamond Boulevard. But I noticed they never touch west end of the town, just only the east end of the town. Because the east end of the town is basically the originals. And yeah, there are newer buildings about 30 or 40 years old, but the town's older than that. Ever since we had Muroc Base changed its name to Edwards because of General Edwards, test pilot I think he was. And in this particular place we have of Diamond Street, this is where some of the original shops were at for the last 30 or 40 years, I heard, from the old timers. Some of them are gone, others still remained. New storefronts there. They just take over what's been gutted and they rebuild all over again. We're getting a new substation, as I said before, of Kern County Sheriff's Department. So it's on the corner of Rosamond Boulevard and Desert. Actually, Diamond Street. Right across the street from the tires. We're finally getting one. Because, if I can take you across the freeway over here, I'm going to take you across right where it is 30 or 35th Street, I think, one of those, and show you where our little utility center is. I call it that. We got the library on the 35th and Rosamond, northern portion of it, and above that we have the main sheriff's station, not to mention our utility, water utility, and fire department. Fire department, about 4 or 5 engines we have, managing 20,000 people in this place. Every time I keep looking at where those services are, I keep thinking how screwed we are, especially if something happens to the 14 freeway. A 14 freeway goes north and south, kind of breaks up a little bit and winds its way throughout the Mojave Desert, well north. But in the Antelope Valley, it goes all the way to the 5 and through the passes. In our area, we only have 2 overpasses to deal with. We have the Rosamond, and then we have Avenue A. Avenue A is basically busy, constructed very well. The things I worry about is if we actually have an earthquake that actually shakes out the support structures, and then we have difficulty trying to get up and through the town left and right. I think I talked about this a long time ago. When me and my brother moved into this town, we were dealing with our mother's passing, and we got evicted out of an apartment complex we lived for 5 years in Lancaster. We found a place along 20th in a Tradewinds trailer home park. Big complex. And in this particular complex, we actually had neighbors. We also had an unscrupulous managers at the time, leasing agent and a property manager. Kind of, we felt screwed us over. Not to mention several other people in the whole park. So that kind of sucked. But for the most part, about a year and a half, my brother and I, well, we liked it. We lived in there. Had our own place. And then we lost a lot of our stuff. You get kicked out of a home and you get evicted. Not fun, not fun, not fun. I've been through too many evictions in my lifetime. I've been through them. Not fun. Not fun. But these things happen in life, they say. Yeah, but also due to bad choices made. That's when they start popping up. I just wanted to keep you guys apprised what was going on. I keep thinking about a haircut. I keep thinking about waltzing out of here if my feet weren't going to be able to carry me over there. I still got to deal with the doctors. I still got to deal with the therapist. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to have any doctors or therapists paid for. Why? Well, let's just say that the systems are threatened right now. Last word of the day. See, today is supposed to have been avoiding several people, actually several companies, that deal with billionaires, and they're getting money off of people like us. Google's one of them. Google's one of them, including YouTube. So I'm breaking my cardinal rules for today for this one. But I needed to get the videos out. The Joker I axed out of here, he thinks that it wasn't going to affect him a great deal. I hadn't seen it yet. I had. The algorithms on YouTube, the zeros and ones, are also selecting other things out there that I still had to verify. And if the maggot, do I say maggot or maggot? Maggots, okay. Little wriggly worms coming out of flies. Okay, that's what they remind me of. Self-replicating themselves in their vitriols. But it seems that when I'm looking at the independents, they're looking for that kind of information too, so they can exploit it a great deal. Exploiting human weaknesses and aggravations right now for decisions they've made. I finally saw the light. Well, until the power went off. Yeah, we're in for it, boys and girls. Too much to say about the situation. My body, my brain still wants to go back to bed. And she must be obeyed, still sleeping, thank God. We'll talk more about her and anything else later on. I just wanted to keep you guys up to speed. Have a good morning.